He's Ted. I'm Arturo. You're watching LSBTV.
All right, welcome everybody to another edition of Lake Side Buoys Television. Ted Godwin here alongside our new voice for this year. Welcome to Arturo, known to many of you from the sidelines as our favorite counting lad and a fervent supporter of Victoria Highlanders. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, Ted. Glad to be here.
Great. So I want to get right into it. Let's talk about last week's game. I mean, we're talking about the opening game of the season, which, frankly, last year was a bit of a disappointment. This year, what was your reaction?
I will always call a 4-1 scoreline a fantastic day at the office. Lane comes up, and you know it's going to be an interesting match if nothing else. You know that they always look good in front of their reporters, and they always send a good contingent of traveling support up. But the scoreline blew me away. And considering that this team they're still just getting to know one another. I mean, we're talking getting off the plane, shake hands, get on pitch, basically. 4-1 was not what I was expecting at all, and it was fantastic to see.
I got to say, sitting in the stands there, even at 2-0 up, it was kind of like, this is a dream start to the season for me. I think, as somebody said at the game, we didn't have that many goals for the first 4 games, let alone the first half of a game. So I got to say, it was beautiful. And yeah, having the Lane United supporters there, that was amazing. We finished off the season with them last year, and they came up for the first one this year. Makes it so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we'll see more of that this year. Maybe we'll get some of the guys from Swangard over.
That would be nice.
That would be great. The Rover supporters. And who knows? Maybe there's other supporters out there, so come on up.
I mean, it's always fun to go up 2-0 after 9 minutes. It's even better to go up 2-0 after 9 minutes when you can shout at the opposing supporters who are going quieter and quieter in their little corner of the stadium. It just makes it so much sweeter.
It was great. It was pretty good. And I got to say, too, you mentioned about the players who just came off the plane and then jumped straight onto the pitch, which is almost literally true for at least 2 of them, Andrew Ofosu and
Solomon Constance?
Solomon was from Ottawa.
It was Evo, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so it was just amazing to have these guys come in, and while, as Dave Dewis mentioned after the game, these guys didn't even know who the players were. And it was like, hi, nice to meet you. We're going to go kick a ball now and score goals. I mean, that was fantastic. So I think we can expect some big things out of these guys.
Yeah, if that's your baseline skill level and your familiarity level, with 0 prep time, you're already winning 4-1. Imagine what happens when Timbers or Sounders come to town. They've had a little bit of time to prep, and Sounders are coming up for their next home game. If that's what we can start at, just imagine where they're going to go against, a good team. Sorry, Lane United. It's gonna. I'm not sorry. I'm really not. But no, it's gonna be fun to see, because once this team starts getting together, you can already see good strike partnerships forming up front. And once that happens, and you can start plug and playing in all these players that you've acquired over the course of the offseason, you're just gonna start flying out of the gate every match, which I would like to see more of.
Yep, and I got to say, I didn't really pay that much attention to it because it was just so much fun paying attention to the goals. But I thought our back line was pretty solid too.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
I would. It's nice to see that Callum has not lost a step at all. Callum Montgomery looks every bit the MVP he was last year. And when he's marshalling a back line like that, and you could hear him throughout the course of the game, he was pointing out what he wanted done and where he wanted it done. Everything just falls into place so nicely. Having that vocal, that confident a leader on the back line makes all the difference in the world. Plus, you sometimes get a little conflict between, and I'm not saying we've ever had this, between a vocal defensive leader and a vocal goalkeeper. I didn't see any of that at all. Simon Norgrove looks like he's very comfortable in net. He's got a good working relationship with his back line. And again, this is with next to no prep time, and they already look like they're a cohesive unit, which is important for a back line because, not letting goals in is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I think Simon came on for us a couple of times last season,
yes,
but certainly wasn't the starting keeper for the whole of last season. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to maintain that position, or if some of these new kids come along, we'll be able to challenge for that spot.
Yeah, won't be happy if the local kid keeps his spot, though. Never sad to see local talent first.
Yeah, see, now that's an interesting point too. That it just occurs to me. I'm fascinated by all these kids who come in from Iowa, from England, from Ireland. I mean, we've got quite an international crew here.
Yep.
But I think as local soccer supporters, what we're mostly interested in is local development, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we want to see these kids succeed and have a place to go. So kind of a mixed bag there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you like seeing guys like Ofosu come off the plane and bang in goals for fun, but you also want to see people like Montgomery and Norgrove rise up and really represent the island well and show that they could have a good career in soccer. I mean, I believe your shirt says, Ted, something about supporting local soccer there.
Time to support local football. Right.
And it would be hypocritical for us to not want those local players who are coming out of the VISL, who are coming out of, VMSL if they're coming from the mainland, like really lower mainland and island players should be the first consideration. Yep. It's nice to have people like, our lovely Jedi Blair Stirrup come from overseas and help provide that leadership, which is fine. You always want to see local first, especially at this level of soccer.
Yeah, and I think that's certainly true. Why I'm one of the supporters of the CanPL. I think that our kids need a place to go.
Absolutely.
And for me, the international brigade, as long as it's not overwhelming, it gives them that, as you say, the experience, the leadership, and the training to then move on. Because if they can come over here and teach our guys something, then maybe our guys have a chance to go over there.
That would be fantastic.
And you know what? If they go straight over there, great. But I think something like the CanPL could provide that place. So, hey, what the heck? While we're on this subject,
while we're talking about the
while
CanPL,
we're there, why don't we talk about what's going on? So, I'll try to give a bit of a brief summary for those of you who may not know. There's not a lot of news going out about this in general, but the CanPL has been announced to start in 2018. There's 2 teams, I believe, confirmed at this point, Hamilton and Winnipeg,
yes,
with expressions of interest from Halifax, and I think somewhere in Saskatchewan is the best we can say right now. The rumors have come out. Yes, there's some guy who may want it to go to Saskatoon, but may go to Regina. We're not entirely sure. And of course, rumors are floating around of even places such as Victoria getting a spot in this league. Now, the Highlanders themselves have said they're not interested, they're not looking, but that's because we're a local team, a local club that's just not got the big money behind us.
No, we saw what happened last time.
Right, so maybe somebody else could come in and do that. We'll see. How would you feel if a CanPL team did get dropped into Victoria?
I mean, I'd love to see it, just purely for the joy of seeing, another bastion of local soccer development take off right in my backyard. I mean, feeling very greedy about having Royal Athletic Park a short walk away from where I live. It's great. It was great in seasons past to just walk down the road, show up, watch great soccer, go home. The drive to Vic is a bit, because I'm selfish and greedy like that, a bit longer than I was comfortable to enjoying. But that said, regardless, if you get CanPL in Victoria, that means you have, in just our neck of the woods, you have MLS, CanPL, USPDL, and VISL, all within arm's reach, which how can you not like that as a development picture for soccer, even an entertainment value for soccer? Yeah. I mean, you think of, we have BCHL, VIJHL, and WHL at the hockey level. 3 divisions of junior hockey that are supported on the island and on the mainland, like right in our area. Why can't we get 3 divisions of soccer at any level, senior or junior, and get them properly supported and growing? And I think CanPL, if done right, key phrase, could go well in Victoria. So this is where, and I wish I could give credit to whoever gave me this idea, because I know I'm parroting somebody else's words here. What I'd love to see is that a downtown facility, somewhere in all the Rock Bay industrial area where it's just sitting there not really doing a heck of a lot. It would need some development, for sure. But that's a good place to build a facility, like something new, right? Like a nice 5,000, 6,000 seat stadium. You could put that out there and say, hey, look, here's a nice place for us to go. It's compact, it's local, it's not, giant and yawning like Centennial is. Centennial's great, but it's a little bit big. Yep. For what we have right now. I mean, unless we get a few thousand people to come out and, watch the Highlanders games, which you should, it would be nice to get something downtown that matches that level. I mean, there's a reason the Save-On Foods Memorial Center is not 10,000 people large. It can fit 5,000, 6,000 people, which is about the right size for a WHL team.
It is.
You get that level for a CanPL team, and suddenly I'm very interested. You put it downtown, I'm even more interested.
So, Arturo, thanks for the throw out there, because I think I am actually the one who may have mentioned Rock Bay, because that's been a pet peeve of mine. Because as a citizen of Victoria, I think Rock Bay is the biggest waste of space in this town. It's a body of water that should not exist. I think they should fill it in and develop it. And yeah, wouldn't that be great to see a stadium right there? I mean, a stadium, housing development put in there, and get some people in there, because
green space, nice park as well.
Exactly, you could really make it a good waterfront kind of gathering place for people, and I think that would just develop a whole neighborhood.
That's the biggest thing we hear. I mean, switching from soccer to local politics ever so briefly, the biggest thing that you hear from Victorians and the council is we need a landmark. We need something that is identifiably Victorian, something that can, represent us as a community other than an aging bridge.
Or, in fact, a strange phenomenon that might be a bridge someday. we don't know what's coming up.
Regardless, you put a nice, harborfront downtown facility, parks, stadium, housing. I hesitate to say art installation after what went in front of the arena, but something like that.
Yeah.
And you have a showpiece that you can market the city with, because I know Victoria loves marketing itself. It loves doing the tourism thing.
Yeah.
You put that down there, suddenly you have a whole other avenue to market to people. It becomes a fantastic venue. Sports tourism. It could work. Get on it.
So there you go. So if you have a little bit of money and some interest in sports, we've got some suggestions for you. And I think the Harbor Cats have shown that a properly marketed sports team in this town can do pretty well.
Did you see the press conference for their new pitcher?
No.
They had cameras and they signed a new knuckleballer, first female pitcher to pitch in the men's division.
Right.
That alone is good enough for coverage, but they had multiple cameras out there, full press conference on the pitch, the whole thing. You don't get that just with a marquee signing. You get that with good marketing. You get that by building that good community buzz.
Yeah.
The Highlanders are not far away from being at that level. They just need to find that through line. It doesn't have to be a splashy marquee signing. It just has to be the right campaign that speaks to Victorians.
Yep, I think so. And going back a little more broadly, though, we're talking about what ingredients are needed for the CanPL to succeed.
Yes.
And you're talking about doing it right. And I think one of the things they are doing right is setting it up as a single entity league. I think they're going to have one vision, one plan moving forward. So rather than a bunch of competing interests for each town, hopefully that will help. But I think that is a key component, isn't it? It's proper marketing in your local markets. It's there's going to be the national level. There's going to be is this seen as something viable for the whole country? But it also has to connect to the communities. So let's hope that they can do that, and maybe if we're lucky, it'll come here.
Oh, if they do it right. I mean, I don't want to see the Highlanders edged out of the market just to bring in a CanPL team, but if done properly, I'd love to see it.
Exactly. So next up on the agenda, I guess we have to talk about some upcoming games. So our very next game is going to be Seattle. They seem to be having a not great start to their season.
You might say they're floundering a little bit. Hey!
We just had to get that one in. That's all we really need to say about them. They're coming up on a week Friday. But after that, the next kind of exciting game we're coming up is a road trip. I think we're trying to get some excitement for because it's going to be a 2-game road trip in June, 23rd and 25th, I guess it is.
That would be Friday, Sunday, yeah.
Friday and Sunday, playing over in Burnaby twice against TSS Rovers, thanks to the crazy PDL schedule, which plays double headers against one team every year.
Gotta save that money on road trips.
Yeah, that works. Well, it's also, I think, about the number of teams in the division.
Yeah,
right. They just want to give a certain number of games, so whatever works. But that, I think, is going to be kind of exciting because this is the first year of the Rovers in the league. They're a new team. They've had some interesting results, right? So
have they registered all their players, Ted?
well, apparently they didn't the first game, so they had a bit of an issue.
I thought we wouldn't be able to use that after Kitsap left, but thank you, Rovers, for giving us a way to yell at your financial or administrative ineptitude. That's fantastic. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna use that for sure. And so there they are. They've already played. Thanks again to the PDL schedule. They've played 4 games.
5, I think.
Is it 5?
I think
games?
It's 5 now.
5 now. 5 games. They've won 1, drawn 1, and lost the other 3, right?
Yes.
Now, what I find interesting is, of course, thanks to the points deduction, they are at 1 point. Thank you for punishment. So, they're down in the standings, but we're going to be facing them for that 2-game stand. And, of course, that 2-game stand will start off the Wanda Fuca plate for this year.
Oh, I'm just excited to know that that's up for grabs again, that the plate is back. It was bad enough losing the Mariners, but, whatever, it's Abbotsford, who cares? But losing the Caps U23 team really robbed us of a really solid rivalry. Like, the Sailor Sea Derby was fantastic. And it would still be if, WFC2 would come over for a friendly once in a while, maybe, just throwing it out there. But getting Rovers in to finally contest the plate again in PDL, even if it's not the original Sailor Sea Derby, is fantastic. We need more Derby matches like this. We're probably never going to get a second island team. As fun as it would be to see a Nanaimo PDL team, which, considering what Harbor City has, it's not inconceivable that they could field enough players to make a PDL team.
I think it could be. It could be competitive.
The question is, who in Nanaimo is going to fund it? Yep. And secondly, why would they play for Nanaimo when they could go an hour down the Island Highway and play for the far superior Highlanders? I mean, just throwing that out there.
True enough.
So with that all said, having Rovers as a Wanda Puka Plate rival is fantastic. We've needed this for so long to really get that bite, that grit back to our schedule. Like, facing off for Kings of Cascadia against the Flounders and Timbits, that's fine. Yep. Seattle and Portland can come up and get beaten down by our boys as many times as they want. I'll never get sick of it. But having a good, quality, local-ish derby/rival, that's what we've been needing in this division since the Caps U23 left, and I'm very excited about it.
That's great. So anybody out there who's interested in making that trip, just meeting up with us at Burnaby Swangard Stadium for some old-time rivalry, make sure you give us a contact. Hopefully we'll put some contact information down at the bottom here a little later. And other than that, maybe we'll show it through a little package. You guys can get a sense of what we talked about in the past. So we present for your entertainment some clips from the past Wanda Puka Plates. Thanks for watching. This has been another episode of LSBTV. Thanks to Jason, our producer, and
I'm Arturo.
I'm Ted. We'll be coming down the road.